We're going live. Cool. And YouTube is going live. I think everything is live. Yeah. Cool. All right. So far it looks like only Stellarium is here. So, how you doing?
Hello, hello. Everything's all quiet, sorry.
Yeah. It is going to be a weird night. There's not four swordsmen tonight, but we're just gonna do something to usher in the new year. Maybe this might be a little short, but still, we'll see who shows up. Give it a few minutes.
Yeah, still trying to get everything set up on my phone correctly.
Yeah.
It's like for some reason, whenever I do the volume, it'll show either, like if we're talking like this, it'll show the call volume and media volume, but for some reason it was only showing media. And so I turned that down and everything went silent.
I hate that on mobile devices when you're trying to adjust the volume and it's a pain one way or the other. Hey Mark, how's it going?
Mark.
Sorry for cutting you off, Wolf. Go ahead.
No worries. It was almost like I remember in one of our other streams, I think they were showing the one guy who was climbing the mountain or whatever, and I wasn't getting any sound on it, but then it just turned out I had the media all the way turned down.
Nice.
Yeah, we're very professional.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad to see that we're getting some people. I'm guessing you've all had your new year already, so happy new year. Me and Wolf are still in the old year.
Yeah, we're catching up.
Yeah, so...
Sadly, I bring up the rear, so...
You like coming from behind. Don't lie.
Oh, yeah. It's my favorite. Some people out there know that.
But... All right.
Yeah, I had a weird night. I had to walk down to go get some energy drinks, and considering I'm in Alaska and it gets dark here at like 4:30 in the afternoon, it was already dark by the time I was walking. And on the way back, I almost got clipped by a truck.
Ooh, that's not good.
Because the side of the road I was walking on, they could see me, but there was a car coming from the opposite direction, so they couldn't move. And so I had to step over, and just as I stepped over, I could feel like the wind of like the mirror, you know, the rear view mirror thing or side mirror, just kind of felt the wind of that go by me. It's like, oh shit, that was close.
Yeah. Ooh. It's a little nuts. But luckily you made it out okay.
Yeah. And I got myself energy drinks and tobacco, so I'm happy.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So. All right.
Ooh, there's a Microraptor here.
Micro showed up. Hey, Micro.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. So, yeah, tonight's gonna be probably a little bit of a short one or a slow one. As you can see, we don't have a full house tonight. A lot of the other guys couldn't make it out due to scheduling conflicts, but we are gonna have stuff coming up soon. That's more of what this one is about. It's kind of announcements and stuff, but I thought I'd give it a fun title.
And also testing to make sure we can still do this.
Yeah. That was the other important thing was making sure that we could do this with even if only some of us showed up. So but kind of holding off on some of the announcements, seeing if either people are going to show up or maybe if
Well, I know some of the other channels are doing some streams too since it's New Year's. I know the shills are going right now too, and they've been going since about noon my time.
Oh wow, they've been going for a while. Yeah. I suspect that a lot of people are doing stuff for New Year's. That's one of the reasons why I was kind of looking to do it later, was because I figure most people are going to try and do it for like their New Year, and so I figure most of those would be towards the end here soon. But that might be wrong. But even if we don't get a large crowd, as long as we get a few people in here, then it'll be good. I also
Well, it's like also it's been forever since we've done anything, which is kind of sad.
yeah. Oh, what, like the summer? I think was the last stream. What?
Yeah, before I moved.
4 months ago was the last stream, and the one before that was 3 months earlier. So it's really been 7 months since we've had like streams going on. It's just been too long.
A lot of that is scheduling with the other swordsmen and not really being able to click. So
I don't know, Stellarium. Wolf is a little wolf, so he probably rides me into battle. But
be
I don't
like
know.
the one fox in the labyrinth riding the sheepdog.
Right, yeah.
Ambrosia.
I don't know how that works. I'm not actually a donkey, but I might be larger than you, so it might not work then. Oh, Russian bots. Go away, Russian bots.
I'll try not to picture that too much.
Yeah.
Those things are popping up more and more, and I've noticed they're now starting to either do the Russian names, and they're also doing male names, because before they used to just be like female names.
Yeah. I mean, and the fact that they're hitting like a stream like this that has 3 people in it. I think at the max we had 6 people. And has been going for 8 minutes, means that they must just be scanning for any live stream.
Yeah.
And not really like got set targets or whatever, but just scanning what's live. And then
I'm actually surprised I haven't had any like pop up during like my premiere ones. At least not that I've really noticed.
Yeah, Mark, I got no idea what's with all the bots. But yeah,
they don't even really have links, so it's like, what's the point?
Yeah, I don't.
YouTube's just so weird lately.
Yeah, I've got to imagine that like the jumble that it posts in there is to do something, or they're just scanning for something, but it's hard to say. So I'm less than a minute out from my New Year's. So after my New Year's, we'll go with announcements.
Nice.
We will not hurt the robot cheetah. The robot cheetah is always allowed.
Actually, if you can make the robot cheetah blue,
well, happy
they
New
would
Year.
be able to help with the other bots. Yay, Donkey's balls dropped.
Yay! Wait, what?
We knew that would happen someday.
I think that already happened. Sure, we'll go and make. We'll also make Micro a mod.
Mr. Stock. Hello, Mr. Stock.
Hey, Stock. So hopefully those change over in a second. I think I did it right. Not gonna go the Alan Davies way and make everybody a mod. So we'll have a few, but we'll try and keep it on the shorter end so that it's just for moderation. We tend not to need a ton, since our streams don't tend to go anywhere. Since it's New Year's and we got an hour before yours, I think we can get into announcements and stuff. So
well, I think we should bring up the sad one really first, so we can kind of get that out of the way, and the passing of Betty White.
Toast to Betty White.
Yeah, that's just
because
such a tragedy.
We all know that she's in the halls of Valhalla, gearing up for the next battle.
It was nice to know she was older than sliced bread.
Yes.
I mean, that's just awesome. I mean, I don't know too many people that are older than sliced bread.
I'm super disappointed. I was actually going to suggest that we do like a celebration for Betty White's birthday because she turned 100 on January, I think it's 17th or 18th. Like,
yeah, something like that.
Basically 3 weeks away, little under 3 weeks away from now. So really, really big tragedy there. It sucks. God, I was talking to some people earlier who said that, they saw her in some stuff where she was doing some promoting of some stuff or an award ceremony, something like that, and looked good or whatever. I mean, God, I seriously thought that woman was going to live forever. So.
Yeah, no kidding. And I was talking with my longest mate not too long ago, and she had just heard about it, and it was one of those things where she kind of got annoyed at me for not telling her. It's like, how could you not know? It's been everywhere all day.
Yeah, no, that popped up early in the day. I think I saw it around noon my time, and like that's all I've been seeing all day, and I'm not even really following, especially on a weekend. I'm not following news very much or whatever, but everywhere I go, I see it or whatever. People talking about it, so
yeah,
and rightfully so. Don't get me wrong.
She was asking, at one point I was only kind of giving her like one-word answers through Messenger, and she was noticing I wasn't acting like I usually do. And it's when she found out Betty White died, she kind of understood, because usually whenever an actor I really like passes away, it hits me.
Yeah.
Especially somebody like Betty White. I mean, watching her on Golden Girls with my adopted mom like every night. That was a show we watched all the time.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. I wasn't huge into Golden Girls, though. I gotta say I watched some of it. Everybody did. I mean, if you say you didn't, I'm gonna think that either you're super young or you're a liar. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Betty White was the last one.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, so.
But, you remember my friend Angel, who joined our group for a bit? She was super big into the Golden Girls, and one of the other things she found was like someone had made up like almost like fanfic episodes, and one of them was Betty White. Ooh, shit. Sorry. like I said, it hit me hard. But was her going to the cemetery and seeing all the other Golden Girls' graves and just like quietly singing, "Thank you for being a friend."
Oh man, that is just killer.
Sorry.
No, man. Damn, that I bet that's just touching.
And I think she had found it last year and was sharing a lot of them with me. And like when I read that one, I cried then too, because it's just one of those things where with a lot of them, you don't really follow them too much, like with the one that played Blanche or any of the others, but it's like Betty White was just right there.
Well, I mean, and she was huge in so much other stuff too. Like I mean, big in the Golden Girls. Obviously, that's kind of what most people know her from. But she did so much acting. I mean, she was actively acting. This last year, like I was reading something a month or two ago about like the longest running actors or whatever, living actors, and obviously Betty White was number one on that list because she started acting when she was 20 or 30, till 99. Like,
Actually, I think I heard she started acting when she was like 17.
was it 17? Was it that young?
I think so,
I, I
because
I
they
thought she had
said
a
she
bit of
was
a
in her
later start, but
teens.
I might be wrong on that. You might
Um,
be right. So, but
it
even
was probably a bit before she got into like the TV type acting, because it was really around Mary Tyler Moore where she got noticed.
oh, okay, yeah. So that might be the like I might be thinking later when she started appearing in more like TV shows and stuff like that. But even still, okay, 17. Let's that's even younger. Like I mean, the woman was phenomenal. Like, whatever. So
Yeah, they said her career spanned like 7 decades, and that's insane.
yeah, so 7 decades would put her in like the 20s.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7 decades, or 8 decades, something like that. God, I mean, how many people can say they did anything for that long? Like, 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 seriously, the average person might say they live that long, right? Let alone do a career for that long.
Like the only ones I can really think of would be from wrestling. It would be Mae Young, and I forget what her other name is right now. Damn it.
Yeah.
But they were messing around with wrestling all the way up. Shoot, they were in their like almost 70s also when they were still taking like power bombs from the Dudley Boys through tables, and it's like,
Yeah.
wow, that's one tough old lady.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Stellari Mrs. Betty White started acting at 8. God damn. Just damn if that's true. Woo. Yes, Mark, we don't stream enough. We're going to get to some stuff on that though, because we're going to be making some changes. Prince Philip also died. Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those years. I personally like something I saw was kind of like this. I altered it slightly, but my head canon is Betty White didn't just die. She told 2021, "You shall not pass."
And it might be kind of a bad way to look at it, but I'm kind of glad it happened within 2021 instead of 2022, because that would be a real crappy way to start 2022.
I was asking somebody earlier that I was like, obviously a tragedy all around, right? No question on that. But is it worse to end the year with it or to start the year with it? What would have been the real worst? And it's hard to say. It's only a day difference, but man, yeah, I think putting it in 2021 leads hope that 2022 might be better. Where like starting off with that in 2022, it's like, again, I'm giving up already.
Abba says this is the first time I've actually watched anything from you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the first time we've done anything for quite a while now.
Yeah. I've figured out who that is.
Did you?
Yeah. So yeah. Our streams are a little different. They're a little weird. But it's mostly just us chatting about things that are going on. We'll probably circle around back to this because we're terrible about tangents, but we should move on to some of the other announcements and things that we're here to talk about.
Yeah, and I had to make some they were good decisions, but kind of difficult decisions on my end, since I was kind of the lone swordsman kind of left in the group. And I remember you jokingly saying I should make you, Surf, and Angel Gamer into being swordsman. And I thought about it, and I went ahead and did that because I want to see the swordsman kind of continue and not just fade. Yeah. And I miss my other brothers dearly, but I realized that they're busy with lives and things, so I had to kind of make an executive decision, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and the others haven't been as active in the Discord, even though we all haven't been active on YouTube that much. The others haven't been active on Discord that much because of real life stuff that they're doing. But let's be clear, they are still full swordsmen. I mean, if they popped in right now, they'd be able to. So it's not, Steve, Tanner, and Foe are still, at the top. We're not demoting them or removing them or anything like that. But this is just a hope to be able to do this and still have at least 4 of us around. Tonight's a little weird, but yeah.
It's like, good Lord, now thinking back, it's been about a year since we really started it up, and so for us to go the other funny part of it was, how long were we a group and saying we were going to do something, and
yeah, I mean, at least I think like 2 months or whatever, and then even once you guys started up the Discord, it was a few months before any streaming. So, yeah, but so the hope is to get Zerf and Angel and maybe some others. We'll see, and then like I said, Steve, Foe, Tanner, anytime that they have the time to join us, and to try and stream a little bit more often. What that schedule is going to be, I'm not going to say. It might be once a month. It might be a little bit more often than that. But we're gonna try and get back to actually getting some streams going on. And fun stuff. We're gonna try and stay away from drama and all the craziness that goes on a lot of the other channels.
Maybe I'll finally read the 6th book in Animorphs.
Yeah, no, you do
Still
not
gotta
know
read that.
how many nights this past month where I've laid down and I go, man, I really wish I had access to an audiobook for Animorphs right now because I need to get that done. And I'm just too lazy to actually sit down and read it. I'm a terrible person.
Maybe I'll sit down and go through them and read them and record them and then send them to you.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we've got to start doing that again. So for those who don't know, we were doing kind of a book club thing because I don't read as much as I should when it comes to novels and works of fiction. And mostly because most of the time that I'm having to read stuff, it's technical documents. So we were trying to do that and trying to get other people in. I think we had one person join us, like for one of them. That was about it. So who knows? We might do some more of that. If not, at least me and Little Wolf will. We have been keeping up with movies. So if you're not in the Discord, which I think everybody here tonight is, but I will drop a link just to make sure that
Apparently, according to Micro, it's the Little Ass Show.
Yeah, I saw that. There we go. Okay. Getting a link for everyone. There we go. So go ahead and join that. I'll try and remember to drop that in the description after. Where it's
hey, it's Dr. Lord Stinky Butt.
Yeah. But we do.
Sorry, I'm just now looking at the chat.
Oh, you're finally catching up with the chat.
A bit.
So I do something normally on Mondays and Fridays. I didn't do anything tonight because of New Year's. Figure most people were going to be busy anyways. But thought he joined a book club once, but it was just a cult. I mean, it's kind of like a book club. It's, a little different, but just don't drink the Kool-Aid.
There's a couple of them out there. I was a part of one for about 3 years, so.
Oh. But, yeah, so we do movies, we hang out, we talk. Me and Wolf, Surf's normally there. Angel pops in from time to time. We have a few other regular members who are around. So catch up with us there at any time. We're trying to come up with stuff to keep people active and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know what else is going on, Little Wolf, or what else do you think we're planning for this new year?
Oh Lord, we still gotta do some planning in the background. We gotta pick out some new nights since I did upgrade you guys, so we're gonna have to discuss that at some point.
Okay, yeah, that's an interesting idea.
I don't know. I think it would be kind of fun if we did our gaming nights again. Maybe once a week, or like you said, maybe once a month or something, where we can sit down with the people on our Discord and have a game night or something. I think that'd be cool. Yeah.
No, that'd definitely be cool. Especially if other people are up for it. If there's games that you guys would want to see us play or play with us, let us know. Even like if it's Jackbox stuff or Among Us or whatever. Because we can figure out different things and do some of that. That'd be fun again.
But yeah, I would definitely like to have us get back into the book club stuff again, because I still do want to read the other Animorph books, because I remember it being one of my favorite series as a pup. So, and I have it, but I have to read it still as the graphic novel they made.
Yeah, I need to pick that up. I looked through some of it. I was looking through some of the pages or whatever that they had online, and it actually the artwork looked really nice, and it looked like it was fairly close to the book. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, if
I
you've got
wound
it.
up getting it on. I wound up getting it on the Google
Oh, awesome.
book area, and it was only like, I think it was like $8 they had on sale, so I figured why not. I think it's like originally like 15 or something like that, so
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, why not get it?
Okay. Do you have a digital copy or a physical copy then?
Digital.
Okay. Well, that's still cool. Yeah, you'll have to let me know because I was looking to pick that up. They were supposed to do a second issue. I don't know if that happened or not. I got to look into that. And then, I don't know what the word is on them doing more, but yeah, I hope they do more because it'd be really cool to see the series kind of revitalized through that. It'd be nice to have a 3080
Yeah.
Solarium. Yeah.
One thing I could do is I do have like a family share thing, and I can add up to about 6 people, and I could probably put do we have a Swordsman Gmail?
We do. So this account that we're doing the stream through tonight has a Gmail.
Oh, duh, that's right. But yeah, what I could do is go ahead and set it up so that email is set up to be on family share with mine, and then you could probably go through it through that.
Thanks, Little Wolf. I was trying to do it and it didn't do anything.
No worries.
Yeah. We can check that. That might be a good way of doing it.
And I have like so many other fun things on there. I have like all of the new Doctor Who series except for last one, which I'm not gonna get for other reasons, because F the BBC right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I would have thought it was for Doctor Who reasons, but I didn't know there was some controversy with the BBC at the moment.
Yeah. Some really bad things that they were associating themselves with, and just. Oh man, it was like very upsetting to me, especially at the time when I heard about it. A bunch of my friends belonged to the group that someone else said that they should die, and that person would like to be the executioner, and BBC really didn't condemn the person for saying it. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a rough one. So yeah. Hello.
It's just sad because
yeah.
they had so much stuff that I really do enjoy from them, with being Doctor Who, and there was a show I watched a long time ago called Coupling, which was really hilarious. Oh my god!
Yeah.
And of course, Red Dwarf. And
yeah. Red Dwarf was fun. I used to watch that sometimes in the middle of the night, just flipping through channels. Like, it was never a show that I turned on, like, looking for it, but it was one that I did watch many a night because it was on. That is the one thing I miss from cable TV is flipping through channels in the middle of the night and just watching something
Hmm.
random that you would never watch otherwise. Not saying that I wouldn't watch Red Dwarf otherwise, but it's probably something that wouldn't have crossed my radar otherwise. But I used to watch like old black and white films that way and stuff.
I think that's how I found the movie Best of Best with Eric Roberts and James Earl Jones, the martial arts movie.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
was
yeah.
I was just flipping through it, and then all of a sudden you see this guy riding on a motorcycle, and there's kind of a cool song happening, and then they go into the martial arts championship at the end. It's like, oh, this is a good movie. And then
Yeah,
I rented it and watched all of it, and then I did the tape to tape copy.
nice. Yeah, I came across Gallica that way. So many
Ooh,
movies that like just became like classics for me, and you don't get that experience anymore. And don't get me wrong, I have not had cable TV since I moved out of my parents or whatever, which has been many years. So it's not to say that it's just like a youngings thing, but it's just one of those things where it's like a good thing of past of the way we used to do things that unfortunately, even though things are ultimately better, we don't kind of get that experience anymore.
yeah, especially with things like Blockbuster finally dying away. And people like to say that Alaska had the last Blockbuster, but I think it was one of the ones in Ohio
No,
that was the last one to close.
there is one Blockbuster still open. It is in
Oh,
Bend,
damn, really?
Oregon. Yep, it is privately
That's where it
owned.
was. Okay.
Yep, it's in Bend, Oregon, and it's privately owned. And so even though Blockbuster as a company is closed, like that store is still gets to run or whatever. And as far as I know, it's still open. Um, I would have to check, but cable
Yeah, the
TV
one
is
up
not like
here
dial up.
closed.
Oh,
The
sorry.
one that was up here closed at the beginning of everything that started, and so
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. I wouldn't say cable TV is like dial up, and yes, it is still a thing. You can still buy cable TV for whatever reason. I know a few people who have it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're changing it around up here, and like I'm not sure what they're doing with it. It's just weird. I know so many people that are stopping with cable because of it.
yeah. Like I said, I've only had like internet and done internet TV, whether it's through services like Netflix and Hulu and other stuff, or other streaming means. But for as long as I've been out on my own. But yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, I
But
remember throughout our first time having our first apartment and everything, we didn't have cable TV and we would just have things on DVD. And when my daughter was growing up, she would have it on DVD or VHS because we would still get them at that time. And finally, she went to her grandma's house and was watching TV there, and the commercial came on, and she's like, uh, fast forwarded through this, and this was before you could fast forward through the commercials.
right, yeah. Oh, that's funny. What is this annoying interruption that came on in the middle of our show?
Hmm. It was just it was such a weird experience for her. And like, I can see why that would be weird because she was used to watching things like Star Trek Voyager on DVD or Inuyasha and stuff like that. And so she had no commercials,
Yeah,
unless you count the previews at the beginning.
yeah, yeah. Oh, Man, that is nuts.
And it's weird to me to think that she just turned like 15 earlier.
Yeah.
And I think at some point we're gonna get together and record another show for my channel, which will be fun.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to see that you're finally getting stuff back done on your channel. You know, the Monday morning cartoons and the stories. I was actually listening to you read some stories the other night to go to bed, and it was great.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
nice.
it was one of the scary stories, and even though it wasn't a very scary story, it still was like great. Now I have to try and go to sleep with that imagery in my head. But it's still
And
it's
what's
awesome.
funny though is that's what I usually look for because that's the kind of stories I like. So I like to share them with people.
Oh yeah, no, and your reading of it was great. Your voices in it were great. You know, the idea behind the story was great. Oh, I forget what it was, but it was the one that was like where they were playing the variation of like hide and go seek in the house.
Oh, Smee, I love that
Smee,
story.
yeah, yeah.
That's such a good story.
But yeah, so
It's like
I mean, like I said, it's not a super creepy story or scary story by any means, but like your reading of it, especially when you're laying in your bed in the dark all by yourself, you know, it adds to the atmosphere just right. But yeah,
and then having
check
the
out Little
fire
Wolves.
sound in the background of it. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You did have that. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Check out Little Wolf's channel. His stuff is awesome. Um. So.
yeah, I think my favorite project that I just did was for one of my subscribers' daughters, and he told me, you know, she always asks to watch my cartoon videos while she's going to sleep, and you know that just kind of hit me. And so I said, you know, I'll make a video specifically for her, and so I did.
Yeah. You know, I've got to be honest though. I was a little mad at you for that one, because I finally made it to one of them live again, and you weren't there.
Yeah, I wound up sleeping too late. I had been up for like 36 hours and I was finally able to fall asleep and I missed my alarm.
Excuse. No, I'm joking with you. But still
I mean,
good.
I was kicking myself for missing that because I really wanted to be there and interact with her in the chat and everybody else because that's usually where I feel most at home is interacting in chat.
Yeah. No. So I don't know. Let's get some audience participation. Audience, what else do you think we should try and do in this new year? Don't be too crazy.
Pin the tail on the donkey.
Ouch.
That could be a game. You know, Surf would join in that one real quick. Actually, it'd probably be Dark Steve.
It might be Dark Steve, yeah.
We're still waiting on him to set up Cards Against Humanity for my birthday.
We,
You know, he still has 3 months before my next one. Maybe he'll get it set up by then.
Yeah, maybe. We'll let him know.
It's only been almost a year.
Yeah. Look, it's been 1 year. Do you have the game set up or not? Okay. We won't be too mean to him tonight. He's not here. But if you see him, just ask him if he's ready or not. But yeah. Send Wolf to the Wolf Star.
That'd be
That
kind
might
of
be a
fun.
little bit difficult, but interesting.
I do have my own rocket.
Nobody wants to get that close to Nathan Thompson.
No, you.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, no. Sorry, Mark. I'm gonna have to turn that one down due to health and safety concerns.
Especially since he's a vegan, he'd be a little opposed to it. Supposedly a vegan.
We, okay. I think we can get more head pats to Stellarium. That seems doable.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that will definitely be a doable thing. Sorry with the roommates being loud in the background.
Yeah, and sorry for those who are tuning in and it's a little bit slow. It is only two of us tonight. We didn't have a ton to talk about, but we did want to do something and kind of get out there that we'll hopefully be doing more. Question of the day. Ooh, I don't think it'd be of the day, but we could do something like that possibly. Be interesting.
I was almost thinking it'd be kind of fun to maybe set up like a trivia. You know, just like a few questions or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, we could try and do something like that. Um, might be
Oh,
interesting. I don't know.
speaking of like weird news type thing, what do you think of Fallout Hero suddenly becoming a Glober?
So, I was interacting with him a little bit in Toon's chat, and I'm not convinced. Um, and not to give the guy a hard time or whatever. If he really is trying, starting to see that there's errors in flat Earth that just don't work, but having issues or whatever, I really do hope that he keeps going down that trail and looking for real answers instead of just made up stuff that doesn't actually answer anything. But there's still a lot of attachment to flat Earth information that has to be just like disconnected before I think real progress can be made. Because it seems like there's still some want to hold on to some of that, or just not understanding that that's just not even at play, type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to believe that he's come over to our side a bit, but just like the way he was acting when they were talking to him on Toon's show, just really didn't feel like he was. And it's like, yeah, you might be seeking out answers, but if we're giving them to you and you're not fully understanding or accepting them, then it's really hard to believe.
Yeah, yeah. Not to completely interrupt, but Solarium, if you cut your hair, Hawaii will sink. Then please don't cut your hair. Though I don't think that that's how things work. But to be safe, I guess just don't cut your hair. Yeah, no, it's I don't know because it's tough, right? And so I think the difficulty is getting people to start asking the right questions to getting good information, right? Because there may be no such thing as a dumb question, but there is a difference between good questions and bad questions. And I think that spending so much time as a flat earther or any conspiracy minded thing, you kind of learn to ask the questions in a sort of way that gives you the answer that you want to hear instead of asking the question in a way that'll lead you to the data to get a real answer.
Yeah, and I think something that they should start doing instead of like jumping into all of like the physics type questions is start going back to like some basics, like when they ask why do naval navigators use a flat map, it's like it's something easy you can look up.
Yeah, well, they don't.
Hey, ML2. Hi.
Hey, ML. Hey, good evening. Happy New Year.
Ooh, I got 19 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, we're dragging this out until it's your new year, at least.
Oh, okay.
So I've been
Well, we're
slowly
good
looking
at
at
tangents, so.
yeah. But exactly, kind of like that stuff. Why do navigators use flat maps? Well, they don't, right? Like, or saying that, when you put a flat map on a globe, you lose space. No, because we started with the globe, so you gained space when you stretched it out. You don't lose space. You go back to the real amount of space. So it's all.
Yeah, and when I was looking up like the naval navigation, there were some like the naval navigation 101 where they do show that when they're not using their mechanical instruments and such, they do have a map that they use, but they're like, we have this legend over here and it has all of the calculations that they need to use to be able to navigate properly on that map because it is set up to be a globe. It's just like we would say a projection of the globe on the map.
Right. Yeah. No. And that's the other thing is yes, they might have a map that is on a piece of paper or that is digitally presented to them that looks flat. But that doesn't mean that it's a flat map.
Yeah.
It's a projection of a globe onto a flat surface.
Or like the other weird one they like to say is, why did that one flight have to detour to Alaska when they were flying from one place to another? And they're like, oh, on a flat map that makes sense. And it's like, well, I forget who it was, but they showed the actual like curve map that most pilots use, and it showed exactly why, because the flight was so close to Alaska that was the best place for them to stop.
When you look at the Great Circle route, the closest and flights don't necessarily follow exactly the Great Circle route, but they follow pretty close to it because they want to minimize the amount of fuel. The closest land area was Alaska, so that's where they detoured to. And that's the other thing is like the fact that and that's any of them. Oh God, so much time on tunes with some of these, like they don't understand the area that they're discussing, and then they want to tell everybody how that area works, and you can't do it. Um, you know, you know, so it's difficult. I don't know. Mark is saying that he worked on a trawler for years, and we had flat maps. I just want to throw that out there since we were talking about that. Yes, you had maps that were flat, but I'm sure that they took into effect that you were actually on a globe. like,
Oh yeah, that's also what they explained, because like I was able to find like a video of captain that was showing like just the basics, and it's like, if you look up the basics of these things and start to understand them, then slowly move your way up to higher IQ information.
yeah. I'm not 100% on the Earth is a Velociraptor. I'm more for Cat Earth. Personally, that's the one that I'm going with. So, but yeah, no,
Oh, no.
I know we're not a
Did
debate
you
channel,
ever?
but I would like to get somebody on here that's not a complete terrible person, and that's the difficult part.
Speaking of terrible people, did
Okay.
you catch the one with Alex on Toon's channel?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I actually had a 5-hour discussion with that guy on Discord one night.
Oh God, why would you subject yourself to that?
I don't know. But I did, and it was like, he kept trying to come up with things that were like gotcha moments, and it's like, dude, these are things we've been talking about on debunking for like over a decade now, and he keeps thinking he's coming up with new things, and it's like, dude, none of what you're bringing up is new.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
And
that's the thing is that none of this is new. Somebody else has thought about it. Hell, half the time when people who are actually in these fields, come up with stuff, somebody else has thought about it, and you're not the first one to it. So that's the thing is you always suspect first that somebody else has beat you to the punch. And then if you find out that nobody has, if you are in one of those like lucky situations where you're like, oh, nobody's done this, then you start busting your ass to do as much work and publish something on it as fast as possible.
almost like on Toon's channel when they brought the one guy who was discussing how you actually go through getting a paper published and everything.
Yeah.
When he was talking with the one so-called professor
Yep.
Flat Earth University or whatever. I can't say that with a straight face.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that was awesome. That's definitely something we could look at doing too if people who have experience in whatever field, whether it's something hobby or work related or whatever, and they want to come on and talk about their field or whatever, maybe we could do some shows like that where either interview style or just kind of like free chat, not necessarily an AMA, but just kind of, discussing, whatever about it that they find interesting or whatever. Because I've found a lot of those to be really interesting that I've seen in over the years, where they get, you know, like the professor that came on, or you know, surveyors in the past, or you know, Wolfie, or these different guys who are pilots that have come on, or whatever, and them talking about, you know, this stuff that they have a lot of experience in, and like what it really is like, and the kind of stuff that really goes into it is, you know, is really interesting.
Ooh, speaking of map ones, we should try and get our favorite captain on who blocked up the Suez Canal.
Yeah. We'll have to find him when he's on dry land, and yeah, maybe get him to tug us around a bit.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I've been thinking about that for a little bit, like maybe even trying to get him on my channel, but I think it would be better if we get him onto the Swordsman. And
Yeah, that's definitely an idea. Micro, the problem with flat Earth GPS is, you run into two things. Either satellites are real, and then you've got to figure out how their orbit works around flat Earth, which isn't impossible, but you'd have to figure out. You would have to figure out how it works, which means you'd have to figure out how flat Earth physics works and a bunch of other things. Or they're all on the ground, as a lot of them like to say, and call them ground positioning system. And then you have to explain to me why I have GPS in a place where I have no cell signal. And as a person who's traveled a lot, there's a lot of places where I have perfectly fine working GPS and zero cell signal. So
that would be Satelloons, wouldn't
it? Maybe. Those have issues though. But I don't. Yeah. So if somebody has an explanation for him, it certainly isn't me.
We should try and get Lindsay Harris, just for shits and giggles.
God. You know I would show up even though I would hate it.
Oh my god, sorry. I just had to do that because we all know how much we love him.
That's a strong word. I don't. That's a strong word there. Yeah.
The Trinity is made up of 5 beings. Yeah, okay.
Sure, Lindsay. Whatever you say. Yeah,
luckily, we're not monetized, because him doing his drawings would definitely get us demonetized.
Oh, yeah. But, you know, he won't even show up on, like, Terry's, so you know we're never going to get him, so.
Oh, yeah. I mean, shoot, we barely have 200, I think, or whatever, but, I don't know if treat's a right word for it, but it would definitely be something.
It was, yeah. That's like an April 1st episode.
We'll save that for like February 29th when it's not a leap year.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, who's Lindsay Ellis? Microraptor brings that person up.
I know that name. Is that the one? Is he the one that does like the medieval stuff? Which one's Lindsay Ellis?
I'm checking the Oracle right now.
I was gonna say, see, now you're gonna make me check it. Oh, and it's what popped right up as I was typing in Lindsay. Oh, it's her. Okay. That's where.
Who is she?
Uh, God, I forget what I've seen her on, but I th-
Lindsay Ellis is an American author, film critic, video analyst,
yeah, I was gonna say I think
YouTuber. Ah, interesting. Okay. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, that'd be fun if we could get that to go.
well, a micro. You don't have one circle. You have two circles, and they're positioned just right. And if you could see my hand motions, we'd be demonetized, and that's how that goes. So
Don't ask us to try and explain Lindsay. Lindsay can't even explain Lindsay.
I would say go look up Lindsay Harris, but I don't believe in torture. If
Oh,
you
I do. Go ahead and look them up.
if you do look up Lindsay Harris, alcohol helps, and AA meetings help the alcohol. So it might be circular, but seek the help you need.
Oh, who's the other guy that Terry's been showing who thinks that he debunked Einstein and surpassed him?
Is it Mitchell? Because I haven't made it to a lot of his recent ones, but I know for a while he was doing stuff with Mitchell from Australia since he was an Australian.
No, it's another guy who, if you look at him, he's almost like he would be a Lindsay Harris brother or cousin or something, and maybe stuck in the same institute that he's in. But he's supposedly, when he was like in his 20s, like said he surpassed Einstein and everything else. And while they were watching one of his videos on Terry's channel, you could almost hear Alan almost have a stroke.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen this guy. That is interesting. Yeah, the thing is, humans are really good at figuring out how to survive today. We are not so great at figuring out how to survive tomorrow. And that's a bit of a extreme, right? Obviously, you can think about tomorrow and figure that out, But we're really good at surviving in the now. We're not, even though we are future planners, we're not really good at thinking about our future and planning out things. It's why climate change is a problem. It's why we have a lot of the problems we have, because we worry about what's going on now, and we don't worry about always what effects it's going to have us in the future.
Oh, speaking of future, I have 2 minutes to go.
Yeah. And Lord Stinky Butt. I mean, it kind of helps. It just depends on which direction you're trying to go in, I guess. Mitchell is from America
Depends
now?
which area. Really?
Can we kick him out? Like America has enough dumb people. We don't want him either. Yeah. I'm not sure where he's gonna have to go. Maybe the ice wall.
We can give him to Greenland.
A meeting where you watched Lindsay Harris. I
Oh,
think that'd be
Lord.
counterproductive. No, that's a counterproductive AA meeting. It's more of that after the AA meeting, you go and watch Lindsay Harris videos.
And we are now in the new year here in Alaska.
Happy New Year!
Yay!
All right, almost all of America is in the new year now. So that's cool. Let's see.
Wait, is Hawaii behind us then? Or
Yeah.
because then
Time zone
Oh,
wise,
really?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, because yeah, Hawaii's 2 hours. Yep, Hawaii's plus 10.
Ah, okay. Weird.
Yep. Yeah, it always throws me off. It's because all of Alaska, I think all of Alaska at least, is one time zone, and so you guys
Yeah.
get the +9, even though like you really should be like 3 time zones
Oh, yeah.
because you're huge, but you have so little few people that nobody really cares.
Pretty much, yeah. Most of Alaska's unlivable, and then if you make it out there, it'll try and kill you. We're like the Australia of America.
Yeah, it's just the opposite, and instead of the heat, it's the cold.
And not as many animals, but some are pretty huge. You don't want to mess with a moose. Tourists found that out the hard way.
Yeah, I've come across a few moose. I would not want to mess with a moose.
Yeah, for some reason they decided it was laying down in town square, and they decided it's a good idea to walk up to this animal that is about a ton and try and pet it.
Yeah. Now, I've got a brother that I swear is like an animal whisperer. I've seen him face to face with so many crazy creatures, meese, bison, all sorts of stuff, with no issue. But I do not suggest that to the average person. And yeah, Micro kind of points out what I was trying to say. Yeah, we can plan weeks ahead, maybe decades, but 12,000 years ago, your chances of living another decade was too small to bother. Yeah, and even the idea of planning decades ahead, we kind of get like the further ahead you plan, the more vague you tend to be in your planning, right? Like my 5-year plan. I want a promotion, right? But it's not like I'm going to do X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. And there are people who do that, but on the average, we don't. Not at all. Yes, the multiple of moose is meese, but with a S, not a C. And why not?
What's funny is like walking up and down the bike paths and stuff around here is usually when I bump into them, and most people are like scared to death of them, and I'm just kind of walking by and making noise so they know I'm there and they don't mess with me. Or suddenly I'll be walking and like 4 of them will wind up behind me and walk around me and not do anything. It's weird.
Yeah. Stellarium, you are not heavier than a moose. I will not let you say that about yourself.
They're about 900 pounds, so
Yeah.
Stellarium. Yeah.
They're like a car.
Well, I've talked to Stellarium and other chats, and they say they're 900 pounds, and I'm gonna believe them.
I'm confused.
Even then, that's smaller than a moose, because a moose can get up to about 1,500 around there.
I see what Stellarium's trying to say because of all their metal components. But
Yeah, okay.
I think they probably got lighter weight metal than they think. If not, we can do some upgrades. But still, a moose will take out a car. So just yeah.
Speaking of another weird person who supposedly might be coming to the globe side, what do you think of hearing that Raichi might be on the fence?
Oh, she might be on the fence. This is the first I'm hearing.
I mean, I've heard that in chats lately, and some people have brought it up in streams, and she might be on the fence about it. It's like, okay,
I mean,
I
had you
highly
told
doubt it.
me a year ago, I might have believed you. The problem is I've seen Reichi in the chats, and I to be honest, not recently because I stopped hanging around a lot of the chats because I was busy. But
Hmm.
yeah, for me it's hard with like 95 to 99% of them. And obviously, if they're sincere and they're actually like starting to get it, awesome. But I do have issues believing it because of the way that they act. And apparently Stellarium's saying that you got her age and her weight mixed up. She's approximately there. Sorry, there.
Them.
Yeah. Sorry, Stellarium. Their age. They're approximately 900 and weigh 16,000 metric tons.
Okay.
All right. That is heavy even for Android, but wow. But yeah, no. So it's hard for me to believe it because of the way that a lot of them act. Because especially when it comes to things like flat Earth, the it is all predicated on denialism, right? Like
Oh no,
even
Lord Stinky Butt, we're not making fun of her. We're just it's kind of an area where if they're going to say they're on the fence about something but then still act the way they are, it's hard to believe that they're on the fence about anything, especially even with like flat out Hero 2 saying that they're on the globe side but still asking the same questions and reacting to them the same way.
right, yeah, it's like I was trying to start a conversation with Globe Hero the other day, and granted, this was around. I think this was like right after Christmas or whatever, so timing wasn't the best. I'm not saying that like he was running away from the conversation or anything like that, but it was all right. I understand this or whatever, but how can we without using NASA's numbers or whatever? And we weren't even talking about a thing that NASA had anything to do with, and it was like it's hard to believe that you're actually starting to understand the other side when the reaction to it is still the same of I can't trust any government, I can't trust any scientific agency, I can't, you know, um, sure they might understand that their position is broken, but they're not really. It's hard to believe that they're really looking for the truth when it seems that they're still looking just to replace one lie with another or one easy answer with another. Not even necessarily a lie, but one easy answer with another, because that's not what looking for the truth is actually about. Yeah, I get that, Lord Stinky.
But yeah, so many of them have asked like the same questions and they wonder why we give them the same answers. It's like because the answers haven't changed. And just because you're not accepting them or understanding them doesn't make it wrong. I mean, it's like me as an idiot wolf from Alaska. I can understand this stuff. Why can't you?
Yeah, and I mean, so I've I've done a bit of physics, because of the areas that I work in, but I don't have as much as some of the other people, and but a lot of this stuff, it makes sense when you build on it most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't, honestly. Like there's things that you learn sometimes that don't make sense until you break down it enough to understand what actually is going on. But to have that level of understanding, you have to put in a lot of work. Flat Earth is kind of culty. Definitely certain sects of it are culty. But I wouldn't necessarily think all of it is. Young Earth creationists, I would say the same. Like, it would depend on. It is a belief that leads to cult like behavior or leads to cults. But I don't necessarily think that level of denialism in itself is a cult. And I think just stating that it is dangerous because of how dangerous cults actually are. Like I said, I would agree though that there is a relation between them and cults.
Yeah, it kind of came up in some of the discussion I had with the other guy, and he was trying to go with the whole young Earth creation thing too, and trying to figure out, why was it that they could build the pyramids back then, but we can't build them with the tools we have now. And it's like, well, back
We
then they
can.
also had they had all day type thing without as many distractions as we do now, and they had more people working on it. And he was trying to say that giants helped out with it, and it's like, if you look at some of history, there's uh, different pyramids you can look at where you can tell that's when they started first building them, because there's one called like the bent pyramid, and they started it at like, I think it was like 45-degree angle, and they realized when they got about 3/4 of the way built up that it wasn't going to be able to hold the weight. So then they changed it to the angle that they kind of have it at now, and so it has this weird bend shape to the top of it.
Yeah.
And there are many other different pyramids we can look at where they were just starting to get the idea of making pyramids, and they just fuck up, and then they have to restart. Like, one pharaoh had to go through 3 different pyramids before they made one that would be satisfactory for him to be buried in.
Right.
And yes, Stinky Butt, I know I'm not an idiot, but I'm trying to get them to underestimate me.
Sorry, let me address a couple things. Mark, yes, flat Earth is dangerous. I do agree, just because I think it is an easy misconception that can draw people in who don't understand and then draw them into other conspiracies. So I agree with you there, completely. There was something else I thought I wanted to address. Yeah, Lord Zink. Yeah, the other thing was more towards you. The problem with the thing of we can't build the pyramids today is that's wrong. We can build the pyramids today. We can build better pyramids today. The that comes from like this telephone game of misinformation or whatever, because the original thing was we don't understand how they built the pyramids. And now we
Yeah,
have we
because
have
they
we have a
were
better idea of how they did it. We're not 100% sure because it was a long time ago, right? Like the pyramids were built like 3,000 years ago. So it was,
somewhere around there.
yeah, it was a long time ago. But there's some evidence that there were possible ramps built. There's also signs of canals. There's sign of having a large labor force that was not slaves. We have evidence of where they quarried the rocks, of how the techniques that they did that. So there was a time when we didn't have all that information, yes, but we've slowly uncovered it. But even if we didn't have all that information, that doesn't mean we couldn't build a pyramid. Tons of like
I mean, we have the one in Las Vegas.
yeah, I mean, you have the Mayans. I think there's Chinese. There's ones in Thailand. The Egyptian ones that are quite popular. There's some up. God, I forget where, but there's.
You know, the Aztecs had them too.
Yeah.
They had easy ones called mastabas, which were just like single structures at first, and then they would slowly start building on top of that. At one point, it was just one big building, and then like the next one was like, oh well, I want one big building and then another smaller one put on top of that. And that's slowly how they started getting the idea of building them up, or at least with the other group with the mastabas.
Yeah, I mean there's ziggurats, there's tons of different places all over the world. Most of them, because of the time and the distance in between them, and when we know they were built, or approximately when they were built. With some of them, some we don't have an exact date, but we know roughly when they were built. We know that this wasn't like a culture going around and building all of these. This was an idea coming up in, different minds of people figuring this out. And to be fair, the idea of a pyramid is a really easy idea to come to when you're doing engineering things. I take a bunch of solo, plastic cups and stack them as high as you can and see what shape it comes up with. I guarantee you it won't take you long to come up with a pyramid, some style of pyramid shape, because that's just, it's a very structurally sound shape. So it's, there's Mark Short, yeah, there's sand, but from the quarry, most likely it's shown that they had canals of water that they used rafts to bring them up to near the pyramid or next to the pyramid, and then they were drug over sand or using logs is another thing that was shown that they could have done. So.
It's almost like with the Easter Island statues, how they were so confused about that for a long time, and then they were slowly finding different areas where they had other statues that were being carved out of the stone that were being used to make them, and they slowly started piecing together how they were built, how they were moved, and
Yep.
it wasn't easy, but I mean, when you're determined enough, you can do it, and you have enough people to do it. It's not difficult to understand.
Yeah. Okay, Giza Pyramid Complex is 4,600 years old. Yeah, yeah. I knew they were some of the oldest megaliths. They're not the oldest megalithic structures, but they are some of the oldest ones. Um, so
And yeah, I wasn't saying that I thought we couldn't build these things today. Those were things that he was thinking. And then he
oh
was also stuck on the fact that it's a young Earth thing, and if we were still going with evolution, that the people back then were more like monkey people type thing, and so how could they build these pyramids? And it's like, really, dude?
that's just racist.
Oh my
Ah,
But he was still stuck on the fact that if it was a young Earth type thing, then when they were built, that the people would still be more closely related to monkeys instead of humans. And it's like people keep forgetting that just because it was an ancient civilization doesn't mean that their brains were any smaller than ours. And they were a lot smarter because they didn't have all the distractions we have now.
uh,
I mean, good lord.
I wouldn't say smarter. That they definitely weren't smarter than us. They weren't less intelligent, but they definitely
Yeah.
they
Well, that's what I meant. I didn't.
but they
Yeah.
weren't any more intelligent because they had less distraction. Because to be honest, one, their distractions might have been different, but they did still have games were still a thing back then. Gossip and that kind of stuff was still a thing back then. I mean, we have tablets from the Mesopotamian that have gossip written on them. So like
Yeah, I was just thinking about that one where it was almost like an actual tabloid tablet,
yeah,
spreading rumors of whatever was going on back then.
yeah. So the the thing is humans have been pretty much the same in a lot of ways for the majority of their existence. I mean, obviously, we've changed in some ways and we've gained a lot of information, but like in the way that we act or culturally interact with each other as hasn't changed a whole lot. And so, but people got to remember that some of the oldest civilizations that we have evidence of, that means that civilizations that were able to build permanent structures are more than 10,000 years old. And then, if you go back to when Homo sapiens first appear, you're talking like 100,000 or even further back. I forget exactly how far back, but so we've been around for a species for a very long time. And then yes, if you go back into the steps of the evolution or whatever, that goes back even further. But I mean, that's one of the things that you always hear from like young Earth creationists or any of that sort of stuff is the kind of like, oh well, if we were monkeys, then why aren't monkeys still evolving into people or that kind of argument? And it's like, no, Homo sapiens and gorillas both have a common ancestor that links back, hundreds of thousands, millions of years ago. Not gorillas. We were gorillas, millions of years ago. We both have evolved from that ancestor.
We've evolved from that kind.
Yeah. But a
Sorry.
kind can't become another kind.
Oh god, we're stepping on so many toes right now. It's fun. This is what we do. But yeah, with that 5-hour conversation I had, this was a lot of stuff that he was trying to bring up, and it was like, oh, Noah's flood was proven to happen. It's like, we're not saying that localized floods didn't happen. And so a thing like that, yes, it could have happened. There are many different ancient civilizations that have had floods happen in their area. And it's like, gee, I wonder why. They built their civilization next to water.
Well,
A lot of them were by water.
The other thing is, so when I was younger, I was a Christian, and I've read a lot of the stuff that said, oh, here's scientific proof that the flood is real and blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Coming from somebody who was on that side and has transferred, a lot of their scientific proof is not, look, here's evidence of severe localized flooding or something of that magnitude. They are actually trying to show that, like,
the whole Earth was flooded.
Yeah, and the evidence that they use doesn't work out. It really doesn't. It is corrupting data and misusing stuff so that people who don't understand it will believe it and
get suckered into it.
Yeah. And that I find so infuriating as somebody who was on that side, who believed in a lot of that stuff at one point. I have nothing against, the belief in a god or multiple gods or anything like that. But, reality is reality, right? And science is science, history is history. And we don't need to be corrupting these things to try and prove some ideal. If your faith is real, then it should coincide. It should agree with what history and science tell us. You shouldn't have to make up lies.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that he was trying to bring up too. And he was like, I bet if I Google it that I could find maybe an article where a scientist says that the Earth was probably at one point covered by water. And I was like, okay, yeah, go ahead and Google it. And so he found an article written by like one scientist, I forget who, and I'm not even sure if they were a scientist, but they were saying, yeah, there's a possibility of a chance where the Earth at one point was covered completely in water. And I asked him, okay, so what does the article say of the time period? And he was like, okay, let me skim through the article, and it came out to be like 2 million years ago or something like that.
Right.
And it's like, dude, yeah, that's long before you would have Noah being even a thing. So that already debunks what you're trying to prove. Yeah. He's like, no, it doesn't debunk it. It's like, how does it not?
So Noah's flood is based on a Mesopotamian tale. I don't know if it's one of the Gilgamesh ones or not, because I can't remember off the top of my head. But it is almost certainly based on one of the Mesopotamian myths, because there is one that plays out almost exactly the same. Obviously, not all the details are the same, but there's it's very close. And that is most likely based on local flooding myth and folklore around there. It's kind of hard for us to know exactly where like a lot of the Mesopotamian myths came from, because their culture was so old. It's hit or miss on the information that we have about them. and a lot of it is in pieces. It's not in whole enough chunks. But I know there are channels like Digital Hammurabi and other ones on
Oh,
YouTube.
that's such a good channel.
Yeah,
That's such a good channel.
that go more into those. So people who are interested in that, listen to experts and not to me. That's the other thing is people who care about facts will tell you to go to an expert. Listen, I'll tell you to the best of the information I have, but go to an expert. Get better information, because that's what I do. Hey, Demon Orb, noticed you popped in. Thanks for stopping by.
Sorry.
Don't know if you heard the announcements because they were like an hour ago. We're gonna start trying to stream some more. Little Wolf made some extra people swordsmen so that we could have 4 swordsmen. There's finger quotes there around for streams. Steve, Tanner, Foe aren't going anywhere, but they've been really busy, so them being around is hit or miss. But hopefully we'll still see them from time to time. Happy New Year. I think that's all.
Yeah, Happy
all the
New
stuff.
Year's.
Also, anybody who's listening, who skipped to a random time stop or just showed up, there's some of the announcements that we gave off earlier before all of our random talking that we're going to go back to here in a minute.
I think we were only gonna stream for maybe a half hour or so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure if we took out a lot of the silence and randomness.
No, there wasn't too much silence actually, which is kind of good because usually when we have the other ones, yeah. But we were also waiting for more people to come in and just kind of interacting with the few that were in chat. But it's like when we had the others with us, we would have those, as Foe would say, awkward silence.
Yeah.
Oh man, I was watching one of our other streams this morning as I was going to bed and just having fun listening to some of our old stuff. Like, I think you and Foe were getting into it about the alcohol making and how brewing beer and whiskey were the same process, but at some point it changes. And you guys went off on that for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So when you're making beer, you start out. That process starts out the same, but when you get the mash, you can either go into the brewing process of beer, or you can take that into a distilling process and make whiskey. Yeah. I remember the exact conversation that you're bringing up. Yeah.
And we discovered you like wood.
Do you have shit for wood?
The color. It changed the color of the alcohol from being clear to being the brownish color that it is.
Yeah. I do like my spirits aged. I'm not so much into clear alcohol. So wood matters. We can definitely get into that some other time. Even though this is
the same jokes.
Even though this is the Donkey Show. But yeah.
Don't say that too loud. Reds will get excited somewhere in the world.
If Reds gets a little excitement tonight, I'm all for it. Now, if he appears on the stream and starts saying, "I heard there was a Donkey Show," I'm going to be a little concerned. So let's hope he doesn't get that excited.
Oh Lord, if he showed up, that'd be awesome. But yeah, I just went through some of our old videos and watched bits and pieces of them, and it just really helped me decide to make the other swordsmen up and make sure that we try and keep this channel going instead of it fading away. So
Yeah, and all the people who are made into swordsmen are people who are either very or fairly active on the Discord, and are people who have been around for a long time, not necessarily since the beginning, but have been part of the community for a long time. So it's not some random people coming in. Um, and the old members are still very important to us. They're just busy with real important shit, unfortunately. Um, so until they have
Yeah.
more time, we're just stepping up to kind of help out. Really.
Yeah, I think I put it best in the Discord when I said it's kind of like the Keanu Reeves movie with the replacements. It's not that we're not trying to get rid of them. We're just having another team come in and take the place for a bit so we can keep everything going.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, I was off of that. I was kind of saying, yeah, we're basically like the second stringers. Um, I don't mind referring to myself that way. And I don't think the others would mind that either. Um, so hopefully none of us get too busy where we have to promote some more
Bring in
people.
the third string.
Right? Yeah, yeah. But who knows? And the swordsman isn't meant to be exclusive. It is meant to be inclusive. So if that has to happen, it's all to keep things going and keep it on the good side. As long as all the people are kind of to the same point. Keep out the drama, keep in just making things good and happy, and that kind of stuff. Then I'm all for it.
Yeah, we are never started to be kind of a serious channel. We were originally brought about to kind of poke fun at the poor beardsmen, and we still do that.
Yeah, yeah.
I still gotta show up with my beard that I took from jail sometime. He definitely got a kick out of that one. Oh my god, the beard is as long as my body.
You do that would be great.
Because I think we were gonna at one point have like a game between us and the beardsmen, and we were gonna do that. I think it was gonna be like Among Us or something like that. And I decided, if we're gonna poke fun at him, I'm gonna take JL's beard.
Yeah, whatever happened with that? Wasn't it supposed to be a trivia thing or something? Was it Among Us?
It was
Whatever.
it was either trivia or Among Us, or it was something that was in the works. But then I think they also started getting caught up in some weird drama type stuff with them, and so we just kind of let it fall into the cracks type thing. And I still would like to have some fun with them at some point, because they're definitely a great group of guys, and they know we're just poking fun and we're just having a good time, and that's what our channel is supposed to be.
Yeah, yeah, it's all about the fun. There's some people in the community that I honestly find annoying, but hell, if they ever stop by and are on good behavior and stuff, they're always welcome. That's kind of the point of this place, is that we can leave our differences at the door, and we can all just kind of relax and have a place to hang out, and kind of get away from all of that. And so, I think being inclusive as possible is the right move. Though at the same time, don't get me wrong, I have no problem banning or making sure that people who want to be exclusive or spew hate speech or anything like that are not welcome. So
Oh yeah, definitely not. No.
Lord Stinky, you
I mean,
are
I
welcome.
think of
You're
it as
good people.
I think of it like a bigger version of my den, because it's like, yeah, my den is where I like to have a safe, quiet place for people to have a good time and everything else. And then the swordsman as being my bigger family, it's the same reason why I started up the swordsman Discord too. And yeah, I mean, I kind of let you and all the others get the run of it, but yeah.
Yeah, your den is like a room off of the Four Swordsman Castle, you know, or
Yeah, and
that's like
somewhere in the mountain next to it.
right. Yeah, whatever. Maybe the caves underneath it. Who knows? We're not exactly sure, but you're definitely connected. You know, the same when
Oh
Tanner
yeah.
used to stream, Steve, Fo didn't do so much streaming, but you know, like for those who are part of it, you know, like yeah, it's definitely that all the people who have been involved, it kind of I've seen have that same attitude, and so that's kind of why I've stuck around here more than other places, even though we haven't been doing a lot of YouTube stuff, is because you know it is a place where we can forget all that bullshit and just kind of relax.
Yeah, definitely.
And by the way, those of us those who might think that we're not active, stop by the Discord. Um,
Movie nights, all sorts of stuff.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We're always doing stuff in there, and always open to suggestions of more stuff that can be added. Yeah, we all miss the foam hammer. He's doing good. We talked to him earlier today. Just busy with life. So you know, and
Yeah, and the same with Tanner, and I understand why he's not able to be around right now, especially I think he said he was going to have a 10-hour work day the day I talked to him. And it's like, yeah, I can
whew,
see why working that long and then coming home and not really wanting to do anything really on Discord or YouTube. I mean, he hasn't even done anything with his YouTube, and it's understandable when you're that busy.
oh yeah, definitely. So
It's like when he dropped by the Discord before and was telling us Merry Christmas and stuff, and it's like, man, it felt like a better visit than Santa Claus, because shoot, I've been around Tanner for so long. Me and him started our channels around the same time, so we kind of been like YouTube brothers in that sense, and so it was just like getting a visit from a family member you haven't seen in forever.
I bet, yeah. Yeah, no, it's always awesome when one of them stops by. Little less so with Fohammer because he comes in and he changes everybody's names in the Discord, and then we have to fix all that. But otherwise, love the man. Yeah, and that's why I'm always suggesting to people stop by the Discord. I threw a link in earlier. You know what? I'll throw it in again because I think I still have it on my paste. I'll throw it in the doobly doo down below afterwards. But yeah, the Discord is where we try and stay active. We're going to try and be more active on Discord. We're going to try and have at least 4 of us around when we do streams. But that might mean that they're once a month. You know, it might mean, you know, we don't know what kind of schedule we're going to be able to do. So I don't want to promise anything here, but we're trying to do things so that we can be more active.
Yeah, and it's almost like with my channel too. When I was gone for moving from one place to another, I think, good lord, I've moved 4 times since summer. It's just was so hectic, and when I was finally able to settle down, I was like, okay, let me jump back into making my videos and getting that done. And I do have some plans in the works for thinking of making a video with King Fru about something coming up, and then my pup I know wants to make some more videos, and I'm definitely gonna keep my Monday cartoons going, because like some of the things I've heard through comments in there, one of the best ones was from Thor. Uh, forget how you say his last name, Rasputin or Res,
I know who
but
you're
you know who
talking
I mean,
about.
Thor.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He told me in one of his comments that he hated Mondays, and now with my cartoons being a thing on that day, it makes it a day that he looks forward to. And that's the kind of thing I want with it. It's to take a break from Monday and have some fun, watch some cartoons, and if you're able to make the premiere, have some fun in the chat, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I still would like to get together with you once we figure out the whole thing with the Animorph books and kind of get the book club thing going again and
yeah.
talk about that in Discord.
We need to figure something out for that. I was hoping that because the one source that I was using for audiobooks kind of ran out, and so I was hoping that either they would make something in a reasonable amount of time, or that something would come up in between there. But I haven't gotten access to it. I don't get a ton of time to like sit down and read books, and so I like doing audiobooks because I can listen to them while I do other things.
Yeah.
But I've been debating getting like Audible or something like that, and there are audiobooks for Animorphs. I don't know how far they're into them, so that might be something I try. But I gotta see on kind of what that would cost and that kind of stuff. So, but even if we had to start with the book club and do something else, that'd be fine. I've been looking into listening to more like old radio plays and stuff like that as well, and that kind of stuff because I miss doing that. I used to do that years and years ago. But yeah, no, we're always trying to do stuff. Yeah, Mark, we all miss Tanner, Steve, and Foam.
Steve's the one that I don't get too much because he's been really hanging out a lot in another Discord. And it's like, if you're hanging out there, you can come hang out with us too at some point. Come on.
Yeah, Steve. I don't know what's up with Steve. I don't know. Steve's around. You can get a hold of Steve. Tanner and Foe have been super busy. And not to say that Steve hasn't been busy. I know that there has been stuff going on, but Steve is around, so you can get a hold of Steve if you're on Discord. Lord
I know
Stinky,
he's still isn't he still working on his house still?
As far as I know, he is. But yeah, I don't talk to the guy enough, unfortunately, because he never comes around. Because he's a big poopy butt. I don't know. Lord Stinky, I'm sorry to hear that you'll be unsubscribing. But we're not having a new video every 35 minutes. It's not going to happen. Yeah.
Oh Lord. For something like that to happen, we'd have to almost make everybody in our Discord into a swordsman, and then let them make their own content. Wait,
Right? Yeah.
no, we can't do that.
Lord
It
Stinky,
was
I love the
almost a good
Shadow.
idea.
I love the Shadow. I used to listen to that all the time. Oh God, and I'm not that old. But I love stuff that is before my time, and that is enough before my time. But yes, the Shadow
That's something I
knows.
want to do too. Is start doing some of my old radio ones I would listen to, because those are a lot of fun.
Yeah. That's why I brought it up. Is I figured you'd be somebody who's also into that kind of stuff. Yes, Micro. So much drama has been going on. I know this summer we got hit by it, some of it, but like I said, we try and keep that out of here, and just keep good things going on, right? If other people want to cause drama, that's their business. I'm not gonna try and play into it, and hopefully the others that are part of this believe the same. I know Little Wolf's on that, and I know most of the others are. So hopefully everyone is.
Yeah, we definitely like to try and keep it, as you said, check the baggage at the door and keep the drama outside the castle. And then when you leave, and if you want to talk about drama, then go ahead.
Yeah, and for those who want to stop by the Discord and chat, I will say, if you've got shit going on and you want to chat about it, we're always around for a chat. Whether private, public, whatever you're comfortable with. There are all sorts of different people around: military, non-military, Americans, Europeans, Australians. There's people all over. So somebody's probably got some sort of something in common with you. We'll talk to you about life and difficulties. We have no problem with that. When we talk about we don't want to deal with drama, we're talking about the pointless drama of people just trying to start stuff for content and that kind of stuff. But if you got something going on in your life and you want somebody to talk to, and you feel comfortable talking to any of us, stop by. We're willing to do it. If you don't, please find somebody to talk to. There's plenty of resources. Little Wolf's good about posting links and stuff to that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Little Wolf's Den's a great place to hang out.
Hotline number. Yeah, the U.S. hotline number, I could give it to you if you need it, or their texting number. And there was also a website that has all of the other countries out there that definitely is a good resource for it if you need it.
Yeah. So.
And always, like you were saying, hit us up on either the Swordsman or in my den, and usually there's someone around if you need to talk to somebody about anything you need to get off your chest. And I mean, I should have taken that information myself when I was going through my problems over the summer, and I didn't do that until just before I started coming back onto YouTube and stuff. I had great help through a friend of mine, and without that, I might not have come back as soon as I did.
Yeah, and I'm glad that things are going better for you now, though, Wolf. I know things have been kind of rough, but yeah, no, because we've been saying, we're kind of, we don't want drama and that kind of stuff. I also don't want people to feel like we can't come by and talk about things if you feel like you need to talk about things. Just don't try and be stirring up pointless trouble. That's more of what we try and stay away from. or I mean, like, if you're having a rough time and you don't want to talk about things, but you're like, hey, I just want to BS and have a good time or watch a movie or whatever. Um, Drop by and just have a chat or whatever. The Discord at times will seem dead, but if you start talking, people will appear most of the time. Um, if somebody's not right there, right that moment, we'll hit you back up pretty soon. And
Yeah, or even click on to my name on there and leave me a message in DMs, and as soon as I see it, I'll try and hit you up or something, you know?
yeah,
I'm always usually free to talk with people, and I know a bunch of them in my den and in the Swordsman. If you give them a chance to, they'll sit down and talk.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, with COVID, I'm at home most of the time, and so even if I'm not actively in Discord, I normally have Discord up and can see it. So if you hit me up or hit something up in one of the servers, um, I'll respond back or whatever. I don't mind, unless I'm in the middle of something that is seriously important. I don't mind taking a moment for anybody. And whatever. I have a huge library of movies and TV shows. I also have
Oh, yeah, you
access
do.
to a ton of subscription services. So if you're like, I just want to laugh and watch something funny, I will put on something funny. If you're like, I want to watch a horror movie, I will put on a horror movie. We do the streams and stuff for people all the time. Most of the time, it's just random stuff that I want to watch. But sometimes, I'm always up for suggestions. So,
Yeah, I think that happened with me one time when I was having a rough night, and you're like, "Hey, do you want me to stream something in Swordsman?" It's like, "Yeah," and then you let me pick out what movie we were watching, and I think I picked out the remake of Dawn of the Dead.
oh yeah, we did do that. Yeah, that was really good. Uh, yeah. No, and so it's great. So I don't know. On to happier topics.
Do we have any?
I don't.
We've gone through quite a bit of our stuff now that we were planning on going through,
Yeah, we definitely went through everything we were planning on.
and a lot more.
And a bit more. We've been going for 2 hours. Oh God.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Especially with the two of us, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. I think those who came out for coming out. Yeah, unless there's something else that somebody wants to bring up, maybe it's a good time to call it. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking it's probably getting around that time now, and I know lots of people in the chat might not like it, but I'm coming up on 1 o'clock in the morning, and sometime soon I might have to get some rest. It'll still be a while before I go to bed, but
All right then.
yeah, I definitely had a good time with this stream, and me and you bantering back and forth about different things, and that's pretty much what most of our videos that we do is. Someone will bring a topic, and then we'll banter about it for however long it happens, and then we'll move on to the next topic. So,
Yeah.
except we're usually not this organized, if you can call this organized.
Yeah. Yeah. It was organized at the beginning, and then we went through the stuff that we needed to do, and then we had the normal chaos. All right. Yeah. It seems people are good. All right. You all have a good night. Have a happy new year. Hopefully this one is better than the last two.
Last
Cause
3. Good lord.
holy shit.
Even 2019 wasn't that good.
Yeah, I mean for different reasons, but yeah, no, you're right. But yeah, it's been a hell of a time. So hopefully things get better. But I don't think COVID's going away anytime soon. So stay safe. You know, listen to the medical experts, whether it's wearing a mask, social distancing, you know, getting vaccinated, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully, in whatever ways we can make this next year better, we do.
Yeah. Definitely be safe and try and at least be civil out there. Good lord.
Well, I'm glad to hear that Micro 2020 and 2021 had some good things going for you, and that's good to hear. At least that there was some good stuff going on. But all right.
Oh, Mark, is that something to be happy about? Sorry, I just noticed.
Oh God, yeah. Ouch. I guess at least America isn't number one in that anymore. Ooh. I'm sorry to hear that, Mark.
Oh man.
You got anything else, Wolf?
You know, just keep an eye out for my next few videos. I'm, like I said, going to be working on one with King Crew. There's something happening later on today that we're going to watch together and then do a review on later on. So within the next couple of days, I'll have a new video out. Always my Monday cartoons and then whatever pops into my head.
All right, that sounds awesome. So I forgot to do the intro because it's been forever and it was late. So let me do the outro to get at least half of what we're supposed to do. Done.
All right.
Yeah.
So